Are you ready for an adventure that will tantalize your senses and leave you breathless with wonder? Step right up and join us on a journey to the beating heart of Lynchburg, Tennessee, where the air is alive with the sweetest scent of distilling and the rolling hills whisper secrets of times gone by. Get ready to delve deep into the rich history and unique flavors of the world-famous Jack Daniel's whiskey. We'll take you by the hand and lead you through the step-by-step process of crafting this iconic drink. From the crackle of the charcoal to the bubbling mash. Your eyes will widen as you witness the masterful artistry and skill that goes into every single bottle of Jack Daniel's. So, come with us, and let your curiosity run wild as you explore the passion and dedication that infuse every drop of this legendary whiskey. This journey promises to be an experience that you'll never forget. History of Jack Daniel. Journey back in time with us to the birthplace of Jack Daniel's whiskey, a story that's steeped in history and brimming with character. Picture this. It's 1846 in Tennessee, and a young boy named Jasper Newton Daniel, or Jack for short, is learning the art of distilling from his father. Fast forward a few years, and Jack's brewing his own unique blend of whiskey, made from locally sourced corn, rye, and barley. But Jack's not content to make just any old whiskey. He adds a special touch to the process, charcoal mellowing, that sets his drink apart. The result? A whiskey with a smooth and mellow flavor that would become known as Jack Daniel's. As the years passed, Jack Daniel's whiskey became more and more popular, winning accolades and fans around the world. But the distillery faced its toughest challenge during the Prohibition era in the early 1900s, when alcohol was banned in the United States. Yet, even during those tough times, Jack Daniel's persevered by producing other products like charcoal and lemonade. Prohibition was lifted. The distillery roared back to life, producing more of that iconic whiskey that we all know and love. Today, Jack Daniel's is a global phenomenon, with its signature black and white label and unmistakable square bottle found in bars and homes across over 170 countries. So come, raise a glass with us and savor the taste of history as you experience the story of Jack Daniel's whiskey, a true American legend. Ingredients. Diving a little bit deeper into the heart and soul of Jack Daniel's whiskey. Its ingredients. Every element that goes into the making of this iconic drink is carefully chosen to impart a unique flavor and character. The corn used in the mash bill, the backbone of the recipe, is sourced from the local farms that dot the rolling hills surrounding Lynchburg. It's no wonder that Jack Daniel's whiskey has a true taste of the land where it's made. The corn is ground down, mixed with water, and cooked to unlock its sweet and savory flavors, which are then ready to be transformed by the magic of fermentation. But that's not all. The mash also contains barley and rye, which are locally sourced and contribute to the complex and distinct flavor profile of Jack Daniel's whiskey. The malted barley brings a toasty, nutty depth to the blend, while the rye adds a touch of spice that lingers on the tongue. And let's not forget about the water, a key component that affects the taste of the whiskey in more ways than one. The water used in the production of Jack Daniel's comes from a nearby natural spring, known as Cave Spring Hollow. This crystal-clear water is naturally filtered through limestone, which gives it a unique mineral profile that enhances the whiskey's flavors. Last but not least, the yeast. This little microbe is responsible for the magic that turns the mash into whiskey. Jack Daniel's uses a proprietary strain of yeast, carefully cultivated since the distillery's early days, to ferment the mash and create the low-alcohol distiller's beer. This beer-like liquid is the foundation of the whiskey-making process, and the starting point for the alchemy that transforms it into that iconic drink we all know and love. Mashing and fermentation. The mashing and fermentation process is the one that brings the distinctive flavor of Jack Daniel's whiskey to life. It all starts with the locally sourced corn, barley, and rye, which are carefully milled and mixed with water to create a mash that's cooked to perfection. This magical cooking process breaks down the corn starches, unleashing their true potential, and creating a tantalizingly sweet and savory blend that's perfect for whiskey making. Once the mash is cooled down, it's transferred to a fermentation tank, where a proprietary yeast strain is added. This is where the real magic happens. The yeast feeds on the sugars in the mash, transforming them into a low-alcohol beer-like liquid known as distiller's beer. The fermentation process is a delicate dance that takes several days to perfect, with the temperature closely monitored to ensure optimal flavor development. After fermentation is complete, the real fun begins. The fermented liquid is distilled through copper stills, a process that concentrates the alcohol and removes any impurities, resulting in a pure, smooth, and flavorful whiskey. It's no wonder that Jack Daniel's is renowned worldwide for its rich and complex taste. Distillation process. Now we come to the exciting part, the distillation process that takes the fermented liquid to new heights of excellence. This transformative stage is where the alcohol content is concentrated and any impurities are removed to create a clear, high-proof spirit that will eventually mature into a refined whiskey. The fermented liquid, or distiller's beer, is pumped into gleaming copper stills, eagerly awaiting their transformation. The stills are heated and the liquid is boiled, causing the alcohol to rise up and vaporize. The resulting ethereal essence glides through the still and elegantly drips into a waiting container. The copper stills are not only functional, but they also add to the beauty of the distillation process. But wait, there's more. Jack Daniel's unique Lincoln County process takes this already remarkable whiskey to the next level. After distillation, the liquid is filtered through a layer of charcoal made from sugar maple wood. This process removes impurities while infusing the whiskey with a subtle sweetness that is second to none. After this initial distillation, the liquid is distilled once more in a second still. This process increases the alcohol content and further refines the taste. The final product is a clear, high-proof spirit known as White Dog or Moonshine. Mellowing process. The Lincoln County process. It's another key part of the magic that makes Jack Daniel's so darn tasty. Let's talk about how charcoal mellowing transforms this Tennessee whiskey into a smooth, mellow masterpiece. Once the high-proof spirit has been distilled, it's time for the main event. Enter the mellowing tanks, filled to the brim with sugar maple wood charcoal. It's like a giant boozy game of Jenga, carefully stacking and arranging the charcoal just right to act as a natural filter for the whiskey. Then, the clear, unaged spirit is poured in and slowly trickles through the stacks of charcoal, taking on a rich, mellow flavor along the way. This process takes time and patience, anywhere from a few days to several weeks, but it's worth the wait. The result is a beautifully clear whiskey with a smooth and mellow flavor that's uniquely Jack Daniel's. This process isn't just a gimmick, it's part of the company's legacy and a nod to their dedication to quality and tradition. Aging process. Let's talk about the final stage of the Jack Daniel's whiskey-making journey, the aging process. This is where the magic really happens. As the whiskey is transformed into a rich, complex spirit that's bursting with flavor. Once the whiskey has been distilled and charcoal mellowed, it's transferred to American white oak barrels that have been charred on the inside. These barrels are like homes for the whiskey, providing the perfect environment for it to age and develop its signature taste. Over the years, the whiskey interacts with the wood and the charred layer, absorbing the rich flavors and colors that are unique to Jack Daniel's. The sweet vanilla notes, the rich caramel tones, and the toasted oak flavors all come from the wood, while the smoky and spicy notes are a result of the charred layer. As the whiskey ages, it's stored in rickhouses on the distillery property. These warehouses are like guardians of the whiskey, keeping it safe and sound while it matures. And just like with any living thing, the whiskey is subject to the natural fluctuations in temperature and humidity, which can affect its flavor and character. The master distiller and tasting panel keep a close eye on the aging process, sampling the whiskey periodically to make sure it's developing just the way it should be. And when the whiskey has reached its peak, it's bottled and sent out into the world to be enjoyed by whiskey lovers everywhere. Bottling. It's time for the grand finale of the Jack Daniel's whiskey production process, bottling and labeling. After all the hard work and patient waiting, it's finally time to share the fruits of their labor with the world. The first step is to remove the liquid gold from the aging barrels and give it one final filter to ensure its purity. Then it's time to dilute it with water until it's at the perfect alcohol content. Next up, it's time to fill up the bottles. The bottling line they use is nothing short of a technological marvel, filling up to a mind-boggling 750 bottles per minute. That's a lot of whiskey. The bottles are then capped, sealed, and sent off to receive their iconic Jack Daniel's branding. Each bottle is carefully labeled with the classic Old No. 7 logo, the signature of Jack Daniel's himself, and other crucial information about the whiskey. The labels are applied using a state-of-the-art labeling machine, ensuring every bottle is perfectly adorned. With the labeling complete, it's time to pack up the bottles into cases and send them off to their eagerly awaiting destinations around the world. From Tennessee to the rest of the world, people everywhere will be enjoying the sweet, smoky, and complex flavors of Jack Daniel's whiskey. It's the perfect culmination of a process that's been crafted with passion and care every step of the way. As we come to the end of this journey through the making of Jack Daniel's whiskey, we're left with a deep appreciation for the level of dedication and attention to detail that goes into every single bottle. From the founder's vision to the skilled craftsmanship of the distillers, each step in the process is a testament to the commitment of the Jack Daniel's team. As you savor a sip of this iconic American spirit, take a moment to think about the rich history and tradition behind each bottle. The carefully selected ingredients, the precise techniques of mashing, fermentation, distillation, charcoal mellowing, and aging, all culminate in a whiskey with a distinct flavor profile that's truly one of a kind. So next time you raise a glass of Jack Daniel's, let it serve as a tribute to the passion and skill of the craftsmen and women who make it possible. And if you enjoyed this journey through the making of this legendary whiskey, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content like this.